We just got back from traveling for 10 days, which included a lot of walking, and while the old me would usually just brute force carrying my luggage around like when I'm grocery shopping, sometimes, especially with a family of 4, you gotta use brains over bronze. Luckily, there is some awesome, affordable carry-on luggage nowadays that makes traveling much easier, and that's what this video is about. My wife recently spent weeks researching the best value carry-on luggage that would make sure we save money by not having to check bags, had enough space for all of our stuff, each had good wheels so the kids could take their own bags, and to make sure that each carry-on would fit even the most frugal of airlines size requirements, because let's face it, we flew with Flair Air to save money. Ever heard of Flair Air? Me neither. But it's the kind of airline that charges for everything, and if your bag is an inch too big, that's anywhere from 30 to 100 extra bucks per bag. Ouch! After all that research, we ended up buying 4 different carry-ons based on YouTuber recommendations, as well as the highest rated carry-ons from Amazon and Walmart that range in price from $130 US to about $40 US. We were really curious and wanted to see if it was actually worth spending more on the good stuff. So let's get right into it because I was shocked with the results. I will quickly show you each carry-on we bought, then talk about which features were more or less important than expected, and finally I'll make recommendations based on our experience with all of them. Let's start off with my wife's bag, the most expensive one we bought at $220 Canadian or $130 US. This is the Travel Pro International, and she found was the most commonly recommended one from YouTubers. It has a soft shell, the most thoughtful pockets and zippers of the bunch, and it has the most expansion too, which can be nice during the trip. It has a lock, which we didn't use, and this is the brand all of the stewardesses buy, supposedly. It's the only one that has a sideways handle, which is odd, but it rolls well and seems to be nice quality. It's light too, but honestly, they're all surprisingly light and are all around roughly the same weight. Next is the one my youngest daughter used, the Showkoo. The rest of these carry-ons we bought are Hardside Suitcases with a solid outer shell, and to be honest, I personally like this better. It just slides quicker, which when you're frantically going through security or trying to blast your suitcase above your head when you're boarding or unloading the plane, I don't know, for some reason I just like it better. It will probably get scratched up more and is maybe a tiny bit heavier. It's hard to tell. I just personally like the Hardside ones. This one has a nice rugged look, comes in cool colors, has a lock, and while the internal storage might be less thoughtful than the Travel Pro, it's still quite good with these extra pockets. And this is the only one with double wheels on it, and I have to say it rolls very nicely. The handle is fine, everything is just really good on it. For $90 Canadian or around 55 US dollars, seems like a really good deal. Speaking of cool colors, next we have the Travelers Club, which my other daughter used. It's $74 Canadian, currently on sale for 36 bucks US or regular $52 US. It's not for sale on the Amazon one at the moment. And as we get cheaper, we're losing features here. This doesn't have double wheels, it doesn't have a lock built in, but it does have the ability to roll upright. I mean, they all do. It does expand, and again, while the inside has less thoughtful storage than even the Showkoo, it is completely adequate for most people while traveling. Also, you can still buy your own locks for the zippers, and the fact my daughter was able to get this color, that was more important to her than some of the other features. Lastly, for me, I got the Jetstream, which was actually the cheapest of the bunch. It's $65 Canadian from Walmart or 45 bucks US, and you know what? It was just fine. The wheels worked well. It has lots of space. It's light. It had a meshed side where I could put my dirty clothes. I think it looks cool and streamlined, and best of all, it has a 5-year warranty. I mean, to be totally honest, because of the type of traveling we were doing, I just didn't really need anything more. This was good enough. Now, this doesn't mean this is the winner, but this does the main things that you want carry-on luggage to do. So if you absolutely just want to save money, this one is worth considering. But hang in there because I'm getting to the most important thing shortly. Let me quickly talk about the main features and whether they were more or less important than expected. Space. Each suitcase holds a sufficient amount, and they all fit the sizing requirements of even the most frugal airlines. That was a deal breaker for us. The softer shell allows you to cheat a little more, which is nice for harder things to pack like shoes, toiletry bags, chargers, etc. And it really does expand nicely, but because of its design, it's very front heavy when you overpack it, which causes it to fall over easily. That's really annoying. Sometimes awkward items seem to take up more space in hardside luggage, and while I like that hardside luggage ensures you won't go beyond the size limit, it can feel like you have less room overall while packing. But I found for a 10-day trip, these 19 to 20-inch carry-ons were just right. We did go to a warm place though, so colder weather could be trickier for size. More on that in a minute. The amount of space was less important than I expected, and these all delivered on space. Handles. I thought the more expensive luggage would have nicer handles, and while the actual grips were nicer, the extending handles were all wobbly. This ended up being less important than I thought. Pockets. While it's always nice to have extra pockets on your luggage, this ended up being less important than I expected. The reality is you also travel with a big purse, or in our case, backpacks. And that's where you want the thoughtful packets. I'll talk more about that in a moment. Outside casing. While the ability to really expand the amount you can carry is great, the fact it topples over on itself got annoying fast. We never had that issue with the harder luggage. I will say for me, having hard luggage was more important than I expected. A soft shell might be better in the long run with durability or weight, but since we don't travel that often, the pros outweighed the cons with the hard shell ones. They are surprisingly light. Zippers. Something I didn't consider was zippers opening on the side versus the front. This is one thing I thought the more expensive luggage did that the cheaper stuff didn't. And that was, it allowed you to open the bag from the front without having to put your luggage on its back and clamshell it open. For me, I like to live out of my suitcase, and that means if all I have is a little space beside the bed and I have to open up the whole thing to get at all my stuff, that's just a bit annoying. With the more expensive one, you can just open the front flap up and access your stuff. I like that. That feature, even though I didn't use it myself, seems more important than I expected. Locks. We didn't use any of the locks because our stuff was with us the whole time. This was less important than expected. You could use your own locks for any of these ones. Wheels. Here's the thing. While all of the features I previously talked about are important, they all pale in significance when it comes to just how important good wheels are. Every one of our pieces of luggage had the ability to roll upright on 4 wheels or be able to quickly shift into speed mode on an angle, but the double wheels of the Showkoo really made it stand out versus the competition. And at the end of the day, that was the one we all wanted. When you're traveling, there's a lot of walking involved. Heck, departing out of our airport, YVR, geez, you must walk at least 1.5 kilometers or about 1 mile to get from the plane to just outside of the airport. And that's just one way. The wheels ended up being the most important thing for us when it came to traveling this way. Not the size or expansion, not the handles or zippers, but how smooth it was while walking at brisk speeds. And the ease of which the Showkoo moved make it the easiest choice to recommend. Now, I'm not a professional traveler and I have not tried every piece of luggage you can buy. And from my research, to be honest, the Amazon Basics stuff looks to be really good value too. They have the type of wheels I like, include a lock, and seem to tick a lot of the important boxes. They are also worth considering. So my advice to you is this. If you are looking for the best value carry-on bag, any of the ones I talked about today will work just fine. Having the ability to walk upright is key because the real strategy and value of these carry-ons isn't the space that they offer, it's the ability to pair the luggage with a backpack that complements the travel style. Check this out. This is the backpack I got for our trip. It's the Tzowla Backpack. It's currently on sale for 32 Canadian, but usually sells for about 54 or around 30 US. And this thing is awesome. It has a lock, a space for your iPad or laptop. It has secret pockets. It has space for your water. And you can even put a power bank in it and use it to charge your stuff externally. And the best part is it has this strap, which allows you to put it on your carry-on and wheel all of your stuff around without lifting a finger. This was the game changer for us this trip. I've never traveled this way before. It was so efficient. And as you can see, you can do it without really breaking the bank. I personally think buying a carry-on with good wheels and buying a backpack with thoughtful pockets is the way to go. So what I recommend is, depending on what's available in your country, get the Showkoo or Amazon Basics for your main carry-on. Then get a backpack with the strap, which can attach to the handle like this highly rated Tzowla backpack or something similar. And that will be an awesome, affordable setup for your travels that will fit on every plane and be super smooth for walking as far as you need to go. Just make sure that whatever you buy comes with a 30-day return guarantee. Listen, I have received defective items from Amazon before. It happens. But everything I link below will have at least a 30-day return period. So if you buy something I don't list, just make sure you can return it. Sometimes the color doesn't match the picture, or maybe the backpack and carry-on combo doesn't fit like you thought it would, and it's important to be able to have the ability to return it if you need to. After using all 4 of these, I was really surprised. I thought the most expensive one my wife bought would really stand out by the end of the trip, but it didn't. When it had too much stuff in it, it just kept falling forward, which was really annoying, and it didn't roll as well as the Showkoo. We all found that we just kept wanting to roll our youngest daughter's luggage because it was fun, satisfying, and just made traveling easier. It felt great to travel smarter. Having great carry-on luggage that rolls well is just such a treat, and I can't wait for our next trip. If you're going to do some traveling, I really think it's worth to upgrade your luggage. You'll be glad you did. I will put links in the description and pinned comments below. I will highlight the standouts, but sometimes sales might make certain items better than others, so keep your eyes peeled for sales. It's always nice to save money. So that's it. If you have any essential travel gear you'd like to share, please let us know in the comments below. You never know who you'll help when you chime in. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate a quick thumbs up or a sub to the channel. I'd love to have you. In case you missed my last video, watch that here. Otherwise, here's what YouTube thinks you'd like to watch next. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Sad Life.